try to make things like that personal. I just believe that my leadership skills would best be suited in that position for our community. And I stated that I have had business owners come to me and tell me, we think you're going to be in a better leadership role, which is why we have their support. So I guess the answer to that question will be, as the election campaign season goes on, you'll see more and more people who want to support us believe in that, because that's going to be the confidence of our citizenry, and their, and business owners are citizens, right? So they're going to you'll see that as they support us throughout the campaign.
Do you plan to handle the civil disobedience by Black Lives Matter and Antifa?
Do I plan on handling civil disobedience by Black Lives Matter or Antifa?
That is what it said.
Like standing down?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I don't want to read into a question, so what I'll do is answer that just the way I believe. I don't care. There's a difference between civil disobedience, rioting, right, protesting. This country was founded on civil disobedience and protesting, right? Rioting is illegal. Mm-hmm. Rioting is against the law. And I can assure the citizens in my background, I don't tolerate destruction of property. As a business owner, that was my livelihood. I didn't want my businesses destroyed, and I think people need to have the confidence to know that their sheriff will protect their property. But people have a right, if they do it with the right way, they go to the county, they get their permits, and people want to do that. As a sheriff, your job is to ensure everyone's safe, right? Which I've said repeatedly. Everyone in Spotsylvania County needs to understand that this is a place to be safe. So, what does that mean? That means that if you are participating in any type of protest that is legal, that you have gone to the county, you've got your permits, or you're just, it could be a protest if you're standing in your yard and holding a sign, right? You've got to feel safe, but you also, as the people who are watching that civil discourse, need to feel safe as well. But understand, I would not tolerate destruction of property. I don't care who you are. I would not tolerate anyone with any form of violence at all. I don't care who you are, what geopolitical group you're with. If you're doing things properly, you're doing things legally, my job is to ensure you're doing it safely.
I like that. No more questions? Okay. So it is getting dark, so probably having a hard time seeing. I do have my one final question.
Great.
Hope you're ready.
I am.
Who is your favorite founding father or founding mother, and why?
Ooh, founding mother, I like that.
That is an awesome question. I'm a history nut. Okay, I was actually one of them kids in school that I read my junior history book in my freshman year. So I love history. I've been a student of history, and more specifically Western history. I can tell you, I love the way our country was founded. I believe our founding fathers were, when it comes to the way they set up our Constitution, were geniuses. Because we understand that Constitution wasn't something written on a weekend. It took and
years.
Even the states that voted on it took years, right? So for me to say who is my favorite founding father, well, understand Ben Franklin was one of our founding fathers, but there were people who participated in our revolution that you'll never know who they were, but their sacrifice was greater than theirs were, because maybe they gave their life. Those founding fathers were still here. Maybe it was one of the frontier couples that were in eastern Tennessee at the time, who, while the husband was going out to fight, right, the British at that point, the wife was home with their children, whether it was one, whether it was 10 children at the time. Her duty was to protect and keep those kids safe in the homestead, right? He was relying on her to do that. Was her job any less than his? Absolutely not. Her sacrifice was just as much. I can tell you my family, when I was in combat, I think their sacrifice was every bit as much as mine. But so for a founding father and a founding mother, I think it's the ones that we have never even heard of, that gave us the fundamental people who we are today.
I like that question, or answer to that question. I like it. All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming out and doing our little chat. Depending on if we get more questions that roll in at a later time, I'd love to set something up to where we can, continue this down the road as it gets closer.
Sure, and you can always, send me a question offline. People can go, if they would, go to smaxwellforsheriff.com, and at smaxwellforsheriff.com, you can get online, volunteer. We need, again, your voice matters, right? And how do you get that voice? Your voice comes through your vote and your support. I don't want people to look at our campaign and say, well, he had, 10 large donations and he ran his campaign that way. I think people that can give not just money but their time and by getting on and volunteering, I think is even more important to me than money. Unfortunately, campaigns run on money, right? We all know that, and every penny is precious, but just by people getting out and doing the 10-10-10 rules, right? People, if I can find 10 people to get out and send 10 emails and send 10 letters and talk to 10 friends and do those things and to get on this excitement, because I've really seen a wave of excitement about what we're doing and the changes that in our law enforcement that we can have here, and the positive things that we can do here. I've seen a large growing excitement for that. So getting on to smaxwellforsheriff.com, you can get on our Elect Maxwell Sheriff Facebook page. Get on that and send me a question. If you've noticed, I don't mind answering questions. I personally feel that if you're not out trying to make a political point, because the sheriff is not, I don't believe should be a political, it is just because you're elected, but I don't think that you should be elected based on political talking points. I believe people need to get to know who you are as a person, because that's who's representing you in law enforcement. And so you need to know who that person is. And the only way you're going to get to know that is come out to one of our events, get to know me, send me a message on Facebook. I'll be glad to answer them. I answer every single question personally. I don't have a staff member do it. I do it.
That's awesome.
So
That's really
I want to
good
make
to
sure
know.
I answer every question personally. I get tough questions. I get people sending me questions hoping that I'll say something. One thing I know, if you don't lie, you don't have to remember a lie, right?
Right.
So if I give you an answer, I'm probably going to give you the same answer a year from now. So, and I'm not going to give you an answer based on what political winds are blowing at the time. I'm going to give you an answer based on my life experiences and the training and education that I've had. So, and I hope that meshes with what our community does and the majority of our community votes. And if it does, then I look forward to being our next sheriff on January 1st, 2024. And I look forward to everybody coming out and helping us achieve that goal.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.